God bless everyone. So my discussion is all about the Article 10, local government. So Section 1, yung general provision is the territorial and political subdivisions of the Republic of the Philippines are the composition of provinces, cities, municipalities, and barangays. So, mo-proceed sa unsa day ang Section 1. So, Section 1 is the basic structure of the country's political divisions as outlined in the 1987 Philippines Constitution, particularly in Article 10. So, why is there a political divisions and for what purpose? So, these subdivisions are designed to achieve effective governance, promote local autonomy, and ensure that government services and resources reach the people in a more organized and manageable way. So, para sa mas effective governance, kailangan na adjoy decentralization of power aron sa paghatag og dako nga responsibility and power to local governments to make the service more effective to support the development of each community. Like local autonomy aron sa paghatag og independence to local governments, provinces, cities, municipalities, and barangays, so that they don't just rely on the central government, that they can make decisions and actions that are appropriate for their community. And also empowerment and decision making like sa mga issue, projects, and programs. Faster and more effective services like sa atong health, education, and infrastructure. Addressing local needs like issues sa kalikupan, like agriculture, and also education. Formulation of local policies like maghimo og palisiya. So, strengthening democracy and participation. So, maghimo sa mga leader nga mas accountable sa ilang mga buhat. So, maka-address sila sa paghimo og seminar sa mga leader aron mas accountable sila sa ilang mga role as leaders. And also resources management, makapahimos sila sa mga pondong angay sa mga panginahanglan sa ilang lugar like dire sa barangay. So di na sila magagad sa central government, so para sa mas effective nga services, so maong naay decentralization gyud. And also disaster response and crisis management, magresponde sa mga komunidad og makahimo og plano like this ato naman tay MDRRMO, so maong natukod na siya. And also promoting local economic development, magplan sa mga project nga makapalambo sa ilang community. So sa akong gingon ganina nga ang composition is the provinces, cities, municipalities, and barangays. So ang provinces, sangguni ang panlalawigan or the provincial board. So ang gagunit is ang governor. Cities, sangguni ang panlungsod or the city council ang naggunit ana isang mayor. And also municipalities, sangguni ang bayan or the municipal council. So ang gagunit ana is ang mayor. And also barangays, sangguni ang barangay or the barangay council ang gagunit ana is ang captain. So there shall be autonomous regions in Muslim Mindanao and Cordillera. So tungod sa atong different cultures, historical, and identities maong nahimo ang ARM or ang autonomous region in Muslim Mindanao. So na-establish siya sa 2019, maong nahimo siya nga BARM or the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao. Pinagi sa ratification sa BUL. So ang ARM og ang CAR, ang purpose niya is aron tagaan ang mga Muslim ug mga lumad sa Cordillera og mas dako nga freedom and control over their local affairs and decisions. So and also note that ang 1987 Constitution sets only two autonomous regions, ang BARM ug ang CAR. Pero kung naay ikatulong nga region, it will require a change in the Constitution. So these political subdivisions created by the Constitution can be replaced by amendment and not by law. So political subdivisions created by the Constitution, such as autonomous regions, can only be altered or replaced through a constitutional amendment and not by a mere law because they are fundamentally part of the constitutional framework. So dili siya ordinary nga batas kanang ginapasa sa Congress but nanginahanglan siya og pagbag-o sa constitution. And also, Congress can abolish or eradicate individual units but it cannot abolish an entire class of LGUs. So, boto sa vote nga, ang Congress pwede mag-abolish o magbag-o og individual LGUs like provinces, cities, municipalities, or barangays kung kinahanglan. So, pwede nila emerge ang duha ka lungsod o kung bag-ohon ang boundary sa usa ka munisipyo but dili pwede i-abolish ang entire class sa LGUs. Even though na possibility nga ang cities, municipalities, or barangays may be reorganized or abolished, the entire system of local government will remain an essential structure in the country. And in section 2, local autonomy. So, all political subdivisions shall enjoy local autonomy. The right of local government units or the LGUs to govern themselves with a degree of independence from the national government. Called political subdivisions because they are divisions of the country that have their own governance structures. And enjoy local autonomy means that these local government units or the LGUs have the authority to make their own decisions paghatag og mga serbisyo sa ilang mga katawhan without undue interference from the national government. Like for example, ang usa ka syudad is magpatuman og ordinansa like segregation sa basura. So ilain ang malata og dili malata. So mag-install sila og recycling centers. So para sa recycling materials. So, ang local government adunay control og dili na kailangan pang magulat og direktiba nga pag-uyon gikan sa national government. And bisan ang local government na sila'y power to govern but sila gihapon kay under sa mga paagi og sistema sa national government. And judiciary may still pass on LGU actions. So bisan og na ay power ang LGU nga magpasa og balaod nga magdesisyon sa ilang komunidad adunay review gihapon gikan sa judiciary or the judicial system kung kana ba nabalaod nakalapas ba sa constitution. And also, President may exercise disciplinary power over LGU officials. If ang LGU official like mayor, governor, councilor is accused or misconduct or corruption, the President has the authority to take disciplinary actions such as suspending or removing the official from office. Section 3, ang iyang general provision, Congress shall enact a local government code which shall provide for a more responsive and accountable local government structure instituted through a system of decentralization with effective mechanisms of recall, initiative, and referendum. Allocate among the different local government units their powers, responsibilities, and resources, and provide for the qualifications, election, appointment, and removal, terms, salaries, powers and functions and duties of local officials, and all other matters relating to organization and operation of the local units. So, ang Section 3, in this section, outlines the mandate for Congress to create a local government code. So, aimed at empowering local governments, ensuring that they can better serve their communities, and allowing for a governance system that is more responsive and more accountable to the people they serve. The local government code as envisioned in the Constitution is supposed to ensure nga masiguro ang mga local nga unit nga sa gobyerno adunay mga tools and authority to manage their affairs. Samtang nagpabilin nga aligned gihapon sa broader national interests. So, Section 4, iyang general provision is the presidential supervision of LGUs. So, the President of the Philippines shall exercise general supervision over local governments, provinces with respect to component cities and municipalities. With respect to component barangays, shall ensure that the acts of their component units are within the scope of their prescribed powers and functions. The supervision of President. So, number 1, the President of the Philippines shall exercise general supervision over all LGUs or the local government. So, responsibilidad ng Pangulo sa Pilipinas nga mag-exercise o general supervision sa mga lokal na panggobyerno para masiguro nga ang action o decision kay na-align sa ilahang mga authorized powers and functions as defined by law. Number 2, the President exercises direct supervision over provinces, autonomous regions, and independent cities. So, the President exercise direct supervision over provinces, autonomous regions, and independent cities. Tungod sa direct na supervision, ang Pangulo na idako nga control and oversight over these areas compared to regular general supervisions. Bot pasabot nga ang mga aksyon, palisiya o desisyon sa mga local government sa mga naisgutan nga lugar ay need niyang masunod sa patakaran o regulation nga gitakda sa national government. Number 3, this power is limited to ensuring that lower officers exercise their functions in accordance with law. So this means that while the President can oversee their actions, the primary focus is on making sure they follow legal procedures and act within the scope of their legal authority. So number 4, the President cannot substitute his judgment for that of an LGU official unless the latter is acting contrary to law. So the President respects the autonomy of local officials in making decisions for their communities. But if those decisions are illegal or contrary to national laws, ang President adunay katungod nga mo intervene aron masiguro nga masunod jud ang balaod. Number 5, the President may however impose administrative sanctions against LGU officials such as suspension for 120 days and may even remove them from their post in accordance with law. So bisan tuod dili direktang makaalam ang President sa adlaw-adlaw nga desisyon sa local government nga officials na i-power siya sa pag-impose of penalties if those officials violated the law. Sa administrative sanctions, suspending the official from their duties for 120 days. The President also has the authority to remove the official from their position entirely. Number 6, provinces exercise direct supervision over component cities and municipalities. So the provincial government is responsible for making sure that the cities and municipalities under its jurisdiction are properly managing their affairs and are not violating any legal requirements. Nagpasabot nga ang provinces interferes with the day-to-day operations of these local governments but only ensures that they are acting lawfully. And number 7, cities and municipalities exercise direct supervision over component barangays. So, means that the local government of a city or municipality has direct oversight and control over the barangays that are part of it. The local government does not directly manage day-to-day barangay operations but ensures that they are operating lawfully and efficiently. Section 5, ang iyang general provision, each local government shall have the power to create own sources of revenue, levy taxes, fees, and charges, etc. So, this means that discussing the powers and responsibilities of local government units in relation to finances, the local governments have the right to collect taxes and fees from their people, but they must follow national rules. The money they collect belongs to them and is used to fund local services and projects. So, naatay ginatawag nga limitations on power. It is subject to such guidelines and limitations as Congress may provide. See Local Government Code for examples. So, number 1, have the authority to levy taxes, fees, and charges. Their power to do so is not unlimited. Congress, which is the national legislature, can set specific rules and restrictions on how LGU can exercise the power. These limitations ensures that the LGU nga ang mga local nga taxes and fees are fair, reasonable, and do not conflict with national policies. Number 2, the guidelines set by the Congress should be consistent with the basic policy of local autonomy, such as accrual of taxes, fees, charges. The taxes, fees, and charges shall accrue exclusively to the local governments. So, number 2, the guidelines set by Congress should be consistent with the basic policy of local autonomy to ensure that local government units or the LGU maintain their ability to govern and manage their own affairs while still adhering the national laws. Section 6, ang iyang general provision is LGU shall have a just share in national taxes as determined by law, which shall be automatically released to them. So this provision ensures financial autonomy for local governments by guaranteeing they receive a portion of national tax revenues to fund their operations, and it requires that these funds be transferred in a timely manner. So, Internal Revenue Allotment or the IRA. Number 1, share of LGUs in national taxes is limited to the internal revenue taxes. So the limitation to internal revenue taxes ensures that the allocation of funds to LGUs is based on stable, predictable, and domestically relevant sources of revenue. Number 2, this is released without need of any further action directly through to provincial, city, municipal, or barangay treasurer. Release is made on a quarterly basis within 5 days after the end of each quarter. So, ang quarterly nga pagpagawa sa IRA, diretso ngadto sa mga treasurer sa LGU para masiguro nga ang mga local government nga naay hapsay o predictable access to the funds they need to serve their communities. Kini naka-base sa legal nga mandates, transparency, and efficiency, ug maka-help sa pag-maintain sa financial stability of LGUs para makalikay sa mga delays o political interference. Number 3, this should not be subject to any lien or holdback that may be imposed by the national government for whatever purpose. So, ang funds sa IRA or the Internal Revenue Allotment, kailangan siyang protektahan from any legal actions such as lien or holdback, which might be imposed by the national government, that protects the financial stability of local governments. Og masiguro nga magpadayon sila sa ilang operation without undue interference from the national government. Number 4, each LGU should appropriate in the annual budget at least 20% of its annual IRA for development or infrastructure projects in accordance with local development plan. So the requirement for each LGU to allocate 20% of its annual IRA for development ensures that the funds are used for long-term, sustainable projects that align with local priorities. And number 5, adjustments in IRA. A, ground and manageable public section deficit. The adjustments in IRA, which is the share of national government revenue allocated to local government units or the LGUs. So, a manageable public section or deficit. So, it refers to situations where the government faces financial difficulties, nakulangan og budget or utang nga naglisod nga mangitag paagi unsaon need ang adjustment sa IRA. So, to various spending allocations in order to balance or address financial structure. And number 6, IRA is included as part of the income of an LGU for purposes of compliance with the income requirement for conversion from one political subdivision to the next. I don't know what happened sa case ni Alvarez versus Gingona. Section 6, ang iyang general provision is LGU shall have a just share in national taxes as determined by law, which shall be automatically released to them. So this provision ensures financial autonomy for local governments by guaranteeing they receive a portion of national tax revenues to fund their operations, and it requires that these funds be transferred in a timely manner. So, Internal Revenue Allotment or the IRA. Number 1, share of LGUs in national taxes is limited to the internal revenue taxes. So the limitation to internal revenue taxes ensures that the allocation of funds to LGUs is based on stable, predictable, and domestically relevant sources of revenue. Number 2, this is released without need of any further action directly through to provincial, city, municipal, or barangay treasurer. Release is made on a quarterly basis within 5 days after the end of each quarter. So, ang quarterly nga pagpagawa sa IRA, diretso ngadto sa mga treasurer sa LGU para masiguro nga ang mga local government nga naay hapsay o predictable access to the funds they need to serve their communities. Kini naka-base sa legal nga mandates, transparency, and efficiency, ug makahelp sa pag-maintain sa financial stability of LGUs para makalikay sa mga delays o political interference. Number 3, this should not be subject to any lien or holdback that may be imposed by the national government for whatever purpose. So, ang funds sa IRA or the Internal Revenue Allotment, kailangan siyang protektahan from any legal actions such as lien or holdback, which might be imposed by the national government, that protects the financial stability of local governments. O masiguro nga magpadayon sila sa ilang operation without undue interference from the national government. Number 4, each LGU should appropriate in the annual budget at least 20% of its annual IRA for development or infrastructure projects in accordance with local development plan. So the requirement for each LGU to allocate 20% of its annual IRA for development ensures that the funds are used for long-term, sustainable projects that align with local priorities. Number 5, adjustments in IRA. A. Ground, a manageable public section deficit. So adjustments in IRA, which is the share of national government revenue allocated to local government units or the LGUs. A. Ground, a manageable public section deficit. It refers to the situations where the government faces financial difficulties, nakulangan og budget, or utang nga naglisod pagpangitag paagi unsaon, need of adjustments sa IRA to various spending allocations in order to balance or address financial situations. And letter B, President can make the necessary adjustments in the IRA upon the recommendation of the following. So, the Department of Finance Secretary, the DILG Secretary, and also the DBM Secretary. So, President of the Philippines has the authority to adjust the ERA, but based sa recommendations from certain government officials, ang Department of Finance Secretary or the DOF, ang DILG Secretary or the Department of Interior and Local Government, and also DBM Secretary or the Department of Budget and Management. So the goal is to ensure the government remains financially stable while still attempting to meet the needs of both national and local entities. And number 6 is ERA is included as part of the income of an LGU for purposes of compliance with the income requirement for conversion from one political subdivision to the next. I don't know what happened sa case ni Alvarez o Ginggona, but nakastate siya ang Alvarez versus Ginggona ang bahin sa kita sa nasunod sa national nga government kinahanglan bang i-appeal sa kita sa LGU, but I don't know unsay nahitabo. So sa kaso nila ang Supreme Court nagdesisyon nga ang ERA kinahanglan i-appeal sa tibuok kita sa LGU kung nakatuman ba kini sa kita nga requirement para sa conversion. Section 7, ang iyang general provision is the share of LGUs in national wealth. So share of LGUs in national wealth, number 1, LGUs are entitled to an equitable share in the proceeds of the utilization and development of the national wealth within their respective areas in the manner provided by law. And number 2, this includes sharing the same with the inhabitants by way of direct benefits. So, Section 7 refers to the share of local government units in the national wealth as mandated by law in the Philippines. So, ang number 1 and 2, the share of LGUs, they ensures that local governments have the resources to meet the needs of their citizens and contribute to overall national development. And under the LGC or under the Local Government Code, natay ginatawag na code MRFOS. So LGUs have a share of 40% of the gross collection derived by the national government from the preceding fiscal year from. So katong code niya is MRFOS is the mining taxes, royalties, forestry and fishery charges, other taxes, fees and charges, and share in any co-production, joint venture, or production sharing agreement in the utilization and development of the national wealth with their territorial jurisdiction. So under the LGC code, MRFOS this system is designed to ensure that the wealth derived from the national resources in a locality benefits both the national government and the local communities, particularly through a significant financial share directed to LGUs. Section 8, ang iyang general provision is the term of office. Term of office, elected local officials now, including barangay officials, have a term of 3 years. So, it refers to the duration that local elected officials such as governments, mayors, councilors serve before their term ends. After, pwede sila magpari-election. Example, barangay officials, barangay chairman, barangay kagawads. So, they can serve og 3 consecutive terms. After that, required sila mo step down at least 1 term before running again. Sangguniang kabataan or the SK or the SC chairman and SK councilors, also they can serve up to 3 consecutive terms and many more. The term of office defines how long an elected official holds office before needing to stand for re-election or hand over leadership to another. So, natay ginatawag nga limitations. So, number 1, no elected official shall serve for more than 3 consecutive terms. So, dili siya mulapas og 3 consecutive terms. Number 2, voluntary renunciation of office for any length of time shall not be considered as an interruption in the continuity of his service for the full term for which he was elected. So, ang voluntary nga pagbiya dili i-consider nga usa sa pagka-interrupt sa pagkahuman sa iyang serbisyo. Pwede pa siyang makabalik o makompleto ang iyang term. Section 9. Sectoral representation in LGUs. Legislative bodies of the local governments shall have sectoral representation under the LGC, as may be provided by law. There should be representatives from the women's sector, the workers, third sector can choose from any of the following: the urban poor, indigenous cultural communities, disabled persons, and letter D, any other sector as may be determined by the sanggunian. So, Section 9, sectoral representations in LGU is designed to ensure that local legislative bodies reflect the diverse needs and concerns of marginalized sectors in society, such as women, workers, and other underrepresented groups. It promote a more inclusive, responsive, and equitable local governance system. Section 10 is the creation, abolition, and division of LGUs. So, requirements for the creation, division, or abolition of LGU in the Philippines. In the Local Government Code 1991 or the Republic Act 7160. And also, letter B, approved by a majority of the votes cast in a plebiscite held in the political units or directly affected. So, number 1, compliance, or ginatawag ang number 1 o compliance. So, the population size, the income level, the geographical considerations, other requirements to ensure that the new divided or abolished unit will be viable and capable of functioning effectively. And number 2 is the approved, or the letter B, approved by a majority of the votes cast in a plebiscite held in the political units or directly affected. So, gitawag to siya nga approved. So, date bars approved through a plebiscite. So, a majority of the votes cast must be in favor of the change first to be implemented. Number 2. Thus, if a province is to be divided into 2 separate provinces, plebiscite or the public referendum will include voters of the entire province and not just the area to comprise the new province. So, kung i-divide ang province into 2 separate provinces, dili lang ana siyang area nga buhaton ang usa ka province ang moboto, but ang sakop jud sa ana nga province. Aron pantay ug ang tanan nga sakop ana nga probinsya makahatag og opinion sa desisyon ug mapatas pod ang ilahang desisyon. Number 3, LGC requirements relate to matters such as population, revenue, and area requirements. So, mao ni ang basis for the voting of having a separate provinces nga set by the Local Government Code of the Philippines. So, sa akong na-mention is the population, revenue, and area requirements. So, population, kailangan ma-meet ang minimum threshold set by the government for a province to function properly. So kinahanglan sa usa ka provinces nga naa-joy minimum threshold. So, aron ang province kay mo function properly. And revenue must have enough revenue generating capacity para masuportaan ang public services and infrastructure. So, naa-jud siya revenue aron masuportaan ang public services. Og ang area, kailangan ang mahimong bag-o nga province nga dako in terms sa land area aron mas maayo ang pagmanage sa administrative task, infrastructure, and other governance requirements effectively. Kay kung ang isa ka province gamay ang area, it could lead to inefficiencies or lack of resources. Section 11, Special Metropolitan Political Subdivisions. Outline the process for the creation of special metropolitan political subdivisions. So natay ginatawag og Special Metropolitan Political Subdivisions, where refers to the creation of metropolitan areas nga adunay dagkong syudad o munisipyo nga kailangan nila og lahi nga pamaagi sa gobyerno tungod sa ilang kadako og kakomplikado, and also the connection sa uban pang mga lugar. And yung creation, number 1, Congress may create special metropolitan political subdivisions by law. So, ang Congress pwedeng magtukod og mga special nga political nga bahin sulod sa metropolitan nga mga lugar. These subdivisions would typically be designated for administrative, economic, or political purposes to address the needs of metropolitan regions more effectively. So, and number 2, it is subject to a plebiscite. So, kinahanglan ang plebisito. So, aron mahimo kini nga subdivisions, kinahanglan nga aprobahan sa mga tao nga maapektuhan ini. Pinaagi sa maong plebisito. So, jurisdiction of metropolitan authority, or the scope of authority and responsibility of a metropolitan authority. So, it is limited to basic services requiring coordination. So, ang trabaho sa Metropolitan Authority mao ang pag-coordinate o pagpaniguro nga ang mga serbisyo sa tibok lugar mahatod og maglihok nga efficient. And usa ka organisasyon nga nagdumala koordinasyon sa mga serbisyo sa usa ka metropolitan area or urban region. And the basic autonomy of component cities and municipalities. The component cities and municipalities retain their basic autonomy. They shall be entitled to their own local executive and legislative assemblies. So, the basic autonomy of component cities and municipalities in the Philippines. Naikatungod nga magdumala sa ilang kaugalingong mga kalihukan o lokal nga panggobyerno. This autonomy allows them to address local issues and concerns in a way that best suits their residents, with their own elected officials handling local legislation and administration. Section 12. Cities. Classification of cities. Number 1, highly urbanized as determined by law. So, highly urbanized as determined by law, these are cities that meet certain criteria such as population of at least 200,000 people and a high level of urban development. Number 2, component cities. Cities still under provincial control. So, component cities are still considered part of a province. They may have urban characteristics but have not reached the level of highly urbanized city. And number 3, independent component cities or non-highly urbanized cities whose voters are prohibited by the city charter from voting in provincial elections. So, independent component cities, cities that are not highly urbanized but are independent from the province, na sila'y local governance. Their city charter specifically prohibits residents from participating in provincial elections. So, and also natay ginatawag ng independence from the province. So, number 1, highly urbanized cities and independent component cities are independent of the province. And number 2, component cities whose charter contains no such prohibition or are still under the control of the province and its voters may still vote for elective provincial cities. Section 13, coordination among LGUs. So, consolidation and coordination of efforts, services, and resources. So, it is optional on the part of LGUs as shown by the use of the word may. So, may, optional participation or may. So, may is the participation is not mandatory. LGUs have the choice to collaborate or not depending on their needs and or interest. So, if it can be done for purposes commonly beneficial to them in accordance with the law. If nakadecide na ang LGU nga mo-cooperate, ang collaboration nila should be for goals or purposes nga makabenefit sa parties nga involved. And LGC Section 33 is the consolidation and coordination of efforts, services and resources among LGU may be done through appropriate ordinance wherein a public hearing should be conducted and the approval of the sanggunian obtained. And LGU can outlines the powers and options available to LGUs in the LGC. So number 1, contribute funds, real estate, equipment, and other kinds of property. So this means that LGUs have the option to full resources when collaborating with the LGUs for shared projects or services like funds, real estate, equipment, and other property. And number 2, appoint or assign personnel under such terms and conditions as may be agreed upon by the participating LGUs through memoranda or agreement. So LGUs can also assign or share personnel to work on collaborative projects. So, ang memoranda of agreement or the MOA kay formal agreement between the participating LGUs. This framework ensures that the coordination is structured, legally binding, and mutually beneficial to all involved. Section 14, Regional Development Councils. Who can provide for RDC or the Regional Development Councils? So the President shall provide for RDC or other similar bodies composed of local government officials, regional heads of departments and other government offices, and representatives of NGOs within the regions. So, Section 14 is the President of the Philippines is responsible for establishing RDCs or the Regional Development Councils or similar bodies. Iyang composition, number 1 is the local government officials. So, local government officials includes governors, mayors, and other local leaders. Number 2, to strengthen local autonomy. Regional heads of departments and other government cities. So, regional heads of departments and other government offices, representatives from external government agencies operating in the region. And number 3 is the representatives of NGOs within the regions. Representative of NGOs within the regions. So, non-governmental organizations that are active within the region. So, mao to akong gibasa ganina is from 1 to 3, mao siya ginatawag na composition or the structure and purpose of RDCs or the Regional Development Councils. So, for purpose of number 1, administrative decentralization. So, to delegate more decision-making powers and responsibilities to regional and local authorities, reducing the concentration of power at the national level, and strengthen local autonomy to empower local government units, LGUs, by giving them more control over their own resources and affairs. And number 3 is to accelerate the economic and social growth and development of the units in the region. So, accelerate economic and social growth is to foster economic and social development in the region, ensuring that growth is balanced and inclusive. So, ang RDC are designated to enhance the local governance, promote decentralization, and drive regional development by bringing together local officials, national agencies, and community people. Section 15, Autonomous Regions, where Muslim Mindanao and the Cordillera region, or the creation of autonomous regions, especially referring to Muslim Mindanao and the Cordillera region. So, factors nga must considered in the process. Number 1 is the historical heritage. So, kasaysayan sa rehiyon, kultura, and tradisyon. Example, sa Muslim Mindanao, apil na ang kasaysayan sa mga Islamic governance. Number 2, cultural heritage. So, ang pagtahod sa mga kultura nga pinungulungan ug ang mga tradisyon sa mga tawo sa rehiyon. Example, ang Muslim adunay lahi nga kultura sa Muslim ug ang Cordillera puno sa mga katutubong grupo nga adunay kaugalingon nga pinulungan ug tradisyon. Number 3, economic and social structures. So, ang mga social structure sa mga region kinahanglan hatagan og pagtagad sa paghimo og mga autonomous nga panggobyerno. Number 4, other relevant characteristics within. So, kinahanglan ang mga laing aspeto sama sa geography, politics ug uban pang mga elemento nga makaapekto sa panginahanglan sa mga region sa autonomy. Number 5, the framework of the Constitution. Sa autonomy, kinahanglan magpabilin sulod sa konteksto sa Constitution sa Pilipinas. Dili pwedeng mulapas sa mga balaod sa konteksto sa Constitution sa Pilipinas. Number 6, national sovereignty. Ang paghatag og autonomy dili dapat maghatag og peligro sa sovereignty sa nasod. And number 7 is the territorial integrity. Sa ang pag-establish sa mga autonomous region, dili angay maguba ang integrity sa teritoryo sa nasod. The creation, or the process and requirements for its establishment, provided by law. Effectivity of such creation occurs only when it is approved by a majority of the votes cast in a plebiscite held among the constituent units. Only those provinces, cities, and geographical areas voting favorably in such plebiscite shall form part of the autonomous region. And if specific conditions and details about the creation of an autonomous region in the Philippines. Number 1, province approved by the law, no autonomous region is created, since the Constitution requires more than one province to constitute one, like what happened in the Cordillera plebiscite. The question of which LGUs shall constitute an autonomous region is one which is exclusively for Congress to decide. So the creation of an autonomous region must be established by law human sa plebisito. So ang balaod magsugod diin importante nga ang kadaghanon sa mga botante mooyon niini. Ang mga lugar nga mooyon sa autonomy ra ang mahimong apil sa bag-ong rehiyon, samtang ang mga lugar nga dili mooyon dili siya iapil. The Constitution requires that more than one province must approve the creation of an autonomous region, and also if only one province votes in favor of the authority proposal in a plebiscite, an autonomous region cannot be created. So ang Kongreso ang magbuot ug mag-approve sa mga territory ug mga lugar nga mahimong kabahin sa autonomous region based sa mga balaod ug plebisito dili ang mga botante. So mag-base siya sa balaod o plebisito o dili sa mga botante. Section 16. General supervision niya is the general supervision over autonomous regions. So by whom? The President. Ang iyang purpose is to ensure that the laws are faithfully executed. So, ang role sa presidente sa pagmonitor kung ang mga balaod kay nasunod sa mga autonomous region. Bisan pa may kagawasan ang mga autonomous region, dapat masiguro sa presidente nga ang mga balaod sa nasod kay matuman sa mga rehiyon. Section 17. Ang iyang general provisions is all powers, functions, and responsibilities not granted by the Constitution or by law to the autonomous region shall be vested in the national government. So, Section 17 is examples is the foreign relations. So, foreign relations is relation sa nasod sa ubang mga nasod diin ang mga responsibilidad sa pagbugna ug pagdumala sa mga international relation kaysa pambansang gobyerno dili sa autonomous region. Number 2, national defense and security. So, ang protection sa country from external and internal threats is also a national matter. Ang autonomous region walay power to the authority over military or law enforcement at the national level. Number 3 is the monetary affairs. So, responsibilidad sa national government ang pagdumala sa salapi, sistema sa ekonomiya o mga polisiya sa pinansyal. So, Section 18 walay naka-indicate sa paper but nag-research ko. So, ang general provision is the creation and structure of autonomous regions through organic acts. So, proseso siya sa pag-establish sa mga autonomous regions sa usa ka nasod. So, number 1, Congress enacts the Organic Act. The Organic Act is a fundamental law that creates and governs the autonomous region. So, it is not something that can be created arbitrarily. Congress tasked with enacting the law. Number 2, basic structure of government. A is the executive department. Opisina sa leader nga sa region sama sa gobernador o presidente sa region. Letter B, legislative assembly. Usa ka legislative body nga pinili sa mga tawo o representative sa mga political units sama sa mga probinsya, syudad o uban pang unit sa rehiyon. Number 3, special courts, or the Organic Act can also establish special courts for personal, family, and property law jurisdiction. Ang mga court niini magtagad sa mga isyu nga may kalabutan sa culture, religion, o kasaysayan sa rehiyon. Basta nagpabilin nga nagasunod sa nasudnong constitution o mga balaod. Section 19. Ang iyang general provision is organic acts for the autonomous regions in Muslim Mindanao and the Cordilleras. So, it means outlines a requirement for the first Congress under the 1987 Constitution. Number 1, autonomous regions. The provision mandates the establishment of autonomous regions in the specific areas of the Philippines. Muslim Mindanao nga nahimong ma-create sa autonomous regions in Muslim Mindanao or the autonomous region in Muslim Mindanao or the ARM, and ultimately the Bangsamoro autonomous region in Muslim Mindanao or the BARM following the passage of the Bangsamoro Organic Law in 2018. Cordillera nangayo og autonomiya apan hangtod karon wala pa makabot ang hingpit nga autonomiya bisan pa sa mga pagsulay. So, number 2, time frame. Ang Kongreso gipangayuan nga maghimo og mga balaod gitawag nga organic acts nga magtahod sa mga autonomous regions sulod sa 18 ka bulan sa pag-organize sa mga member sa Senate and House of Representatives sa new constitution in the 1987. Number 3, purpose. Ang purpose niini ani nga autonomous regions mao ang paghatag og mas daghang gahom og control sa local governance and resources, recognizing the distinct cultural, ethnic, and historical identities of their populations. So, ang gihatag nga 18 ka bulan nga panahon sa Constitution wala dayon matuman. Apan sa ulahi ang BARM or the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao sa Mindanao nahimo na. Ang paningkamot alang sa paghimo og autonomous region sa Cordillera nagpadayon hangtod karon. Section 20, legislative powers or it's granted to the autonomous region through its organic act. So, areas where the autonomous regions legislative has authority to make laws or regulations. So mao ni ang Organic Act of Autonomous Regions shall provide for legislative powers over areas. Number 1, administrative organization. So makahimo sila og mga structures para sa governance. Number 2, creation of sources of revenues. maka-establish sila og ways to generate income like taxes. Number 3, ancestral domain and natural resources. So, na jurisdiction over matters related to land and natural resource management. Laws nga number 4, personal, family, and property relations. Laws nga related to civil matters like family law, inheritance, and property ownership. Number 5, regional, urban, and rural planning development. So, authority nga magplano og mga regulate sa land nga magamit para sa infrastructure and development. Number 6 is the economic, social, and tourism development. So, power nga makabuhat og mga polisiya that stimulate economic growth, improve social welfare, and promote tourism. Number 7, educational policies. So, ang region nakapermeate og mga polisiya regarding sa education such as curriculum and school systems. Number 8, preservation and development of the cultural heritage. Balaod nga mag-protect ug mag-promote sa region's cultural traditions and heritage. And last but not the least is the such other matters as may be authorized by law for the promotion of the general welfare of the people of the region. So, ang additional issues or areas that may be authorized by law for the region's welfare. And na siya ginatawag nga limitations. Number 1, it is subject to the provisions of the Constitution and national laws. And number 2, to be exercised within the territorial jurisdiction. But ang legislative authority, limited siya. So it must align with the Constitution of the country and national laws. Sa meaning, di siya makakontradict sa higher level laws. And it can only be exercised within the region's territorial boundaries. So meaning, dili siya maka-extend beyond its jurisdiction. Section 21, it is the preservation of peace and order or the defense and security. So, it is the division of responsibilities between local and national authorities. So number peace and order. So, it shall be the responsibility of local police and agencies. So, peace and order. So, ang local agencies are responsible for maintaining peace and order within their jurisdiction. So, involve handling local law enforcement matter like crime, prevention, traffic control, and responding to emergencies. And number 2 is the defense and security. It shall be the responsibility of the national government. So, defense and security, it is the national government likely through national defense agencies like the military to responsible for broader security concerns such as the defending the country against external threats and managing national level security operations. Local authorities handle day-to-day law enforcement and peacekeeping, while national authorities manage broader security and defense matters. So that's all. Thank you.